there'll be a motion to appoint you or to appoint if. So to be the representative of the commission.
We are ready.
Right.
We got this.
Hi, good. How you doing? How you doing?
You might ask somebody to make them.
We don't expect anybody today. Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be.
You didn't see the tour bus that was pulling up?
No.
I did. It's Cinco de Mayo week.
What'd you do? Right.
Yeah. Okay. It's Thursday. Not that I'm not thinking of Cinco de
There's
Mayo.
no,
Anyway, tonight we have to use the wireless microphones. So Okay. there's a button for on and off. Right now it's turned off. It is. So, okay. So it's just that.
if I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
That's my memory, because on Zoom, everybody's name is on the screen.
What's your drive? It's like less than 20 minutes, right? Like there's traffic's going over the hill again, so it wasn't bad. So
But waiting later, is it
Yeah.
going to be still bad?
no, it won't be that bad. Like after 7.
Yep.
Microphone.
Here.
Testing, testing. Yeah, it's working.
You're not allowed a pen on the first day. It's usually pencil. So we're letting you gotta. Yeah. Make sure it's cursive.
He said he had a file.
Jessica is on Zoom if you need her to.
Interesting. They're on Zoom. She can't turn on her video, or she can.
If anything. Yeah. Yeah. Make it,
Yeah, she sounds a little better, right? Yeah. Mr. Yusupov, how you doing? Good. I don't know.
they can use that same logic, if you want to call it logic, to undo gay marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Very easily.
They mentioned that in the draft.
For, you know, the first case on this line was contraceptives. But the states whether contraceptives are legal. Could go as far as
I think so.
I mean, who knows how crazy it is? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. I could hear him still say, I could still hear him saying, "Well, let the states decide."
It's the argument of states that is at the core.
I'm in the back too, so a lot of times I switch you to for the sources. You know, like, are you gonna now it's in presentation, then I'll just do it myself. So,
She said she was surprised, but still very proud of her votes.
I was going to go look at it, what the minutes were.
CNN showed all of the justices in their hearings giving answers.
Well, they had enough to say no. can remember.
Ours just double check the actual bylaws.
It does, it says three, unless there is a special purpose.
Not up here.
Well, there may not be a lot of yelling tonight based on the crowd.
Yeah, it's on, okay. Okay. So otherwise we could have a hot mic moment, right?
Don't want that.
Yeah, so. Hello? Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, I'm having this translated into Spanish for me. No, it's just, I wear hearing aids, and it's just, from when we were here before, it's hard to hear. They're really good. They're just, yeah. How are you?
Good, good. And is this my seat right here?
I don't know.
Apologies for the delay.
I already screwed this up.
Hi. Test, test, test. Okay, great. Thank you. How are you? It's been a hot minute.
Check, check.
Yes, likewise.
Good evening, commissioners. Just want to make a reminder that we are broadcasting at this time, meaning that folks are capable of seeing on WehoTV. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And it's good to see all of you.
Good to be seen.
So, Chair, I think we're ready to go. Yeah.
Okay. Call to order the meeting of the Business License Commission. We begin the meeting by acknowledging that the land currently known as the City of West Hollywood is the occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Gabrieleño Tongva and the Gabrieleño Kizh peoples. Item 2 is Pledge of Allegiance. If you turn on your microphones and join me in the pledge, I'd appreciate it. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 is roll call for attendance. And Secretary, may we please have a roll call? Or do we do it electronically?
Yes, we can do it electronically on the screens.
Okay. So is there anything more to do other than what's
No.
on the screen?
That is it.
Great. Well done. Thank you. Item 4 is approval of the agenda for today. Are there any changes in tonight's agenda?
There are no changes.
Commissioners, is there a motion to approve the agenda for today?
Motion.
So moved by Vice Chair Matos, seconded by Commissioner Eisenberg. And may we please have a roll call?
Can use the screens for the roll call vote. Are you able to see it on your screens?
No. Well, we
Okay.
see approval of agenda, but nothing to vote.
Okay, we'll do an oral roll call vote. Commissioner Eisenberg? Commissioner Lowe?
Aye.
Commissioner Volin? I'm sorry, he's absent. Commissioner Yusupov?
Aye.
Vice Chair Matos?
Aye.
And Chair Saltzman.
Aye.
And the item is approved.
Great, thank you. Item 5 is approval of the minutes of April 5, 2022. Are there any changes to the minutes?
There are no changes.
Commissioners, is there a motion to approve the minutes of April 5th, 2022? I see a motion by Commissioner Lowe, seconded by Commissioner Yusupov. Secretary, please have a roll call.
Commissioner Eisenberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Lowe?
Aye.
Commissioner Yusupov?
Aye.
Vice Chair Matos?
Aye.
And Chair Saltzman.
Aye.
And the item is approved.
Thank you. Item 6 is public comment for members of the public to address the commission on agenda items if the member of the public cannot be present later in the meeting at the time the item is heard by the commission. Commission Secretary, do we have any speakers at this time?
We do not have any speakers.
Thank you. Item 7 consists of public hearings, and we have none. Item 8 is special items, and there are none. Item 9 is new business. Item 9A is the Community Safety Focus Group, in which we will receive an update regarding the development of a comprehensive community safety and well-being strategy for the city. Is there a staff report or a presentation?
Just a little bit of background, the city has hired a consultant to develop a comprehensive community safety and well-being strategy. The city has contracted with Strategy Corp, a professional services firm based in Ontario, Canada, to guide us through this process. The project will include the creation of a strategic goals, community safety and well-being initiatives, and an implementation plan. Strategy Corp will be conducting 60-minute focus groups with representatives from the commissions, advisory boards, and the social service task force. This commission body is to select one representative to participate in the focus group to provide perspectives on service gaps, risk barriers, and opportunities for improvement in the city's community safety and well-being. So with that, we're asking this commission to select one representative to participate in this focus group.
Thank you. I've heard from Vice Chair Matos that he's interested in serving, and Commissioner Vulin also indicated that he's interested in serving. Vice Chair Matos, would you like to make a statement before we get to a vote?
Absolutely. Thank you, Chair Saltzman. Members of the Business License Commission, as you know, I'm Eric Matos, proud resident of West Hollywood. I'd really enjoy participating in this discussion. I think public safety is an extraordinarily pertinent topic right now in our city. As someone who walks the streets of our communities with his little dog Nico, I love him very much. I see and I hear people's concerns about public safety. There is a concern out in the community, that are we safe? There is that sentiment. So I take this very seriously. I will participate fully with this item, and I hope to be the Commission's representative. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have a motion in favor of one of the two candidates? Commissioner Eisenberg?
And that Commissioner Matos be our representative on this focus group.
And seconded by Commissioner Yusupov. Any discussion on the motion? In that case, I think we're ready to vote. In which case, an aye vote is to appoint Vice Chair Matos. I'm not seeing that we can vote on the screen.
Yes, the system isn't working properly at the moment, but we'll do a roll call. Commissioner Eisenberg?
Aye.
Commissioner Lowe?
Aye.
Commissioner Yusupov?
Aye.
Vice Chair Matos?
Aye.
And Chair Saltzman?
Aye.
And Matos will serve as the representative.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, Chair.
Do us proud.
Yes.
I will.
Item number 10 is unfinished business. The unfinished business is an update on the LA County Health Order and the city's continued efforts related to COVID-19. Is there a staff report?
Commissioners, this is Jessica Benitez, the Compliance Supervisor. Also joining me this evening in the council chambers is Mr. Danny Rivas, our Acting Director of Public Works. The item before you tonight, as Chair Saltzman stated, is an update of the recent changes related to the health officer order. The latest health officer order went into effect April 21st, 2022. It was revised to continue to require masks in public transportation within the Los Angeles County. This includes buses, ride shares, airport terminals, and subway stations. As of April 25th, the public health reported 8,123 positive cases, which is a 2.5% increase since our last report of March. There have been no zero deaths in the last month. The county also estimates that approximately 87% of West Hollywood residents who are 5 years of age and older have received at least one or more vaccination doses. There were no reports of non-residential locations experiencing 3 or more individuals with confirmed COVID-19 cases. Also, as part of this report, I'm giving you an update regarding City Council items that affect our businesses. On April 18, 2022, the City Council received an update on the logistics of the WeHo Pride, which is in June 2020, next month. The street closure of Robertson Boulevard was approved, and fees related to special event permits and encouragement permits, permit fees were waived for our city businesses. On April 18, 2022, the City Council also received an update and provided direction on the implementation of the minimum wage ordinance and approved a number of actions. Some include a resolution that establishes an annual minimum wage increase by the Consumer Price Index, known as CPI, for urban wage earners and clerical workers. Also, it amended the minimum wage ordinance to allow annual minimum wage adjustments of at least 1% and no more than 4%, and also clarified some leave provisions, leave as far as caps on sick leave and vacation. Also, last night, staff returned with the revised ordinance, and the City Council approved the item. And this just concludes my update for the health order update and city businesses, and we're available for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions for the staff on this item? Seeing none, we will move to item 11, which is items from staff. Do we have any items from staff?
Yes, good evening, Chair and members of the Business License Commission. Danny Rivas, Acting Director of Public Works. I just wanted to provide just a couple of brief updates. It's great, first of all, to see everybody here in person for our first in-person Business License Commission. It certainly seems like it's been quite some time since I've had the opportunity, right, to see all of you. And I think for some of you, this is probably the first time that we've been in person in the last 2 years. I can't believe that it's been that long. So I know that we're certainly learning through operating the system here on Granicus, and so this is a good opportunity for us to just kind of have a run through, as we're getting, into the calendar year and the summer months. We do anticipate that there are going to be a couple of cannabis-related hearings that are going to be coming before all of you, and so making sure that we get things dialed in as much as possible, and knowing that, as a part of utilizing this system, this does give the opportunity for members of the public to actually view, the Business License Commission, as opposed to how we were holding the Business License Commission meetings prior, in terms of just them having to log on, right, into Zoom. So it wasn't being streamed through WehoTV, which is what is occurring today. And so as we move forward, we're going to continue to hold and facilitate our meetings in this fashion. And if there's any questions or anything that you or the rest of the commissioners, even both of the commissioners that are absent today, we'll be sure to circle back with everybody and make sure everybody's up to speed with utilizing the system and working out any questions. Jessica Benitez did provide the update concerning the community safety. And so congratulations, Vice Chair Matos, but this is just to echo what Vice Chair Matos had mentioned. I mean, this is just such a critically important topic of discussion in our community. It's part of the reason why our city manager did choose to move forward and create this working team, and getting the community involved is a huge part of the process. We have every member of the commission, as well as city council members and other stakeholders that are going to be involved in this process, as well as the working team of different folks, city staff-wise, that are representing various divisions and departments throughout the organization. And so with all that, all of the input and feedback that is received, just know that as Vice Chair Matos will be capable of providing an update to the rest of the commission on his experience, we certainly will be making sure that we're reporting back to this body in terms of any updates and progress as this strategic plan is unfolding, and it will ultimately be presented as well to the City Council and made available to the members of the public. Something else in terms of business that we have coming up, it is going to be in July, but July is just around the corner, is we will have our election for chair and vice chair amongst the Business License Commission, and so we'll make a reminder of that at our next Business License Commission meeting in June. But I just wanted to plant that seed now, that it is on our radar, and so we'll certainly be bringing that forth, placing that on the agenda, and then having an opportunity for the Business License Commission, no differently than you did in the past, of selecting and nominating a commissioner to serve in those two roles. So that concludes my my updates, and if there's any questions or anything that the commissioners may have, we're available for any questions.
Commissioners, any questions for the staff? Commissioner Lowe?
Yeah, I actually don't have a question, but I think what would be appropriate is probably to have some sort of agenda item that would allow Vice Chair Matos to report back, because generally what happens is that it doesn't get itemized as a agenda item, and so it gets kind of an afterthought. So it would be nice if we could put that on the agenda item.
I would agree with your sentiments, Commissioner Lowe.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll make sure, and Vice Chair Matos, whenever we will provide the information right to the consultant that's providing the interviews, and then whenever that's scheduled, you can communicate with me, and once that's concluded, we'll make sure to put that on the next agenda for the Business License Commission for sure.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Item 12 is public comment. Commission Secretary, do we have any speakers at this time?
There are no speakers at this moment.
Thank you. Item 13 is items from commissioners. Do any commissioners have any comments or statements on non-agenda items that you'd like to bring to the attention of staff or the commission, or that you'd like to have placed on a future agenda?
I'd like to.
Vice Chair Matos.
Thank you, Chair. So I just wanted to ask staff, a few people on this commission have really expressed interest in the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic and the recovery of these businesses in our community. Recently, the West Hollywood Chamber of Commerce put out a solicitation regarding a survey on business impacts. I don't know what the status of that survey is and if it's been completed, but my question to staff would be if we would be able to solicit feedback from the chamber based on their findings to potentially include in future update that you provide from to the commission.
Yeah, absolutely, Vice Chair Matos. We can certainly, my understanding is either it has not concluded yet or they're still compiling, all that information, but we can certainly work with the Economic Development Department who's working with the chamber, get that information, and then we can place it on the agenda and share that information.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much. If I may, just one other thing, Chair. So at our last meeting, we had discussed methods for ensuring accountability with unarmed roving security guard requirement as required by the West Hollywood Municipal Code. This would require cannabis license holders to have a roving security guard regularly scheduled. I just wanted to see with staff if we would need a motion to agendize an update on those efforts, or if we could get an update at the next meeting.
Sure, either or. We can certainly add that to the agenda as an item based off of your comments today. So why don't we just do that? We'll add that as an item for next month.
Okay. Is the commission, does everyone feel okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Do you think, and just to be utterly clear, we do not need a motion for that, right? Or would you like me to make one?
You can make a motion, yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's do a motion. Then I would move that the commission receive an update from staff on efforts to ensure compliance with the West Hollywood Municipal Code that requires cannabis license holders to have a roving unarmed security patrol within a radius of the business. Do I have a second?
Seconded by Commissioner Eisenberg. Any discussion of the motion?
That would be just a preliminary update, right? Because that's something that, do they have a deadline to implement that, or is that immediately, they have to report back immediately whether they're doing it already, the businesses? Yeah,
and I think my memory serves me right. What I remember and recall is that putting in place, kind of a tracking mechanism for us to have, and so we'll certainly need to communicate with the current license holders that are in operation and getting more or less kind of their schedules, but we wanted to protect those schedules, as much as possible, because we certainly didn't want to provide that in open, but letting folks know, yes, we've communicated with them. Yes, we have kind of a tracking method in place, so if we do get complaints, then we know when to go out specifically in that certain time frame to be able to do an inspection to verify whether or not they have a security guard who's patrolling or roaming, is my understanding, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the intent. And then also just ensuring that there is a mechanism for any code enforcement activity to ensure that there are those patrols, to ensure that that is taken into consideration on renewals, even in the instance that it does not return to the Business License Commission for a hearing.
Yeah, understood.
And then would it be logical then also to hear any complaints in this time period, like by the next meeting, if there are any complaints from the public, then we would be able to discuss that as well, right?
And so are you asking for a report on all the businesses that are in operation or anyone specifically?
Well, the ones that have to have a rolling security. So if there's a complaint already from the public, so we probably wouldn't want to know about that.
Right. And let me just, I know Jessica's on Zoom. Jessica, is that something we would be able to pull by next meeting in terms of those license holders that are in operation, right, that are required to have the roaming security guard?
So all the cannabis businesses, whether it's an adult retail or medical, will need a security guard. It's part of the municipal code. So June, it's a little bit too soon for us to provide that data because we do have, just top of my head, we have about 12 establishments already operating. And also we need to look at each particular business to see how many complaints have we received regarding security guards. And then this will give us enough time for us to provide the data that you're asking. So I would say by the first meeting of July or the next meeting in July.
Mm-hmm. Should we move then this item to the July meeting? So that way it's more comprehensive with the complaints in place as well.
Should we make it for the next few meetings?
I
Because
think we do this step by step.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it sounds to me like there's be some staff and information from the staff in June, followed by this information about complaints in July.
yeah.
I think that would be helpful.
I agree, Chair Saltzman. I think that there's an opportunity, to Commissioner Yusupov's point, for us to look at the infrastructure that staff has to put into place in the June meeting, and then in the July meeting potentially look at any other additional information as it pertains to community complaints or spot checks that code enforcement may do between now and then on the 12 operating businesses.
All right, makes sense.
Yeah, we made note of that for sure. Yeah.
Any other comments before we vote on the motion? Christian Secretary, we have we can vote. It would appear the motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Any other items from commissioners? Our final item is adjournment. The West Hollywood Business License Commission will adjourn to our next special meeting to be held on Tuesday, June 7th, 2022 at 6 p.m. at the Council Chambers in West Hollywood Park. Just notice to my fellow commissioners, I will be out of the country, so Vice Chair Matos will be in my chair. Thank you everyone for your participation and for, yes, Commissioner Eisberg. I'm sorry?
Oh, she's an adjournment.
Go ahead.
I just want to adjourn in the potential death of Roe versus Wade and hope that the country will come together enough to vote to come out in November so that we can potentially have a democratic, that we don't lose the House and that the Congress can vote to institute it is ratify the amendment so we don't have to depend on the Supreme Court to make the decision in this 50-year-old amendment. I think this is an earthquake moment in our country right now. So that is something to adjourn for. Thank you.
Commissioners?
Yeah, I have a quick question to follow up. So we were going to, when is exactly we're going to be voting for the chair position, the chair and the vice chair position?
July meeting?
Which you're not going to be?
No, I'll be here in July. I won't be here in June.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and I believe, and Jessica or Fallon could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the July meeting, is it the second week?
Yeah,
Is it the 12th or the 13th?
Oh.
Yeah.
July 12th, so it wouldn't fall on our regular first Tuesday of the month, right? It's going to be, because that's 4th of July week. So, yeah, so we moved it strategically the following week.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
Commissioners, anything else? The meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
Excuse me.